Good morning, everyone. Can we sing the national anthem now? Please let us be on our feet. Nigeria's God, Lord. Prosper shall never be in vain. Thank you. God bless you. Fellow shareholders, ladies and gentlemen, it is with pleasure that I welcome you to the 41st Annual General Meeting of our company, Nigeria Aviation Handling Company PLC, NAHCO AVIANCE, in view of the third wave of COVID pandemic, which led to the government directive to minimize social contacts by restricting the number of persons at public gatherings, and in accordance with the Corporate Affairs Commission's approval and guidelines on holding of annual general meetings of public companies. The attendance of this meeting is by proxy. I call on what's the name of that pastor? The one in white. Yeah, our brother who has cross on in his, so okay. What else do I want? Most superior evangelist. I was just looking for the signature, and I find that in you. Please, can you offer us a prayer, a word of prayer?
In Jesus' name. Father, we thank you for the grace of being alive. We thank you for the opportunity to be here today to discuss the affairs of our company, NAHCO AVIANCE. We thank you for the protection of the members of the board, management, and staff of our company, and for extending same to the other shareholders. May your will be done as always. Father, we call on you to come and be the great chairman of this occasion, so that every deliberation today will be to the advantage of our company and to the propagation of your good name. We ask for a blessing for the company and for members of the company and for our country. This and more we ask from you in the name of our precious Savior Jesus. Amen. Thank you for answered prayer.
Thank you very much, sir. I would like the company secretary to confirm that we have a quorum for this meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, distinguished members. I would like to call on the registrar to confirm the members' attendance.
Thank you, sir. Morning, Mr. Chairman, Board of Directors, distinguished shareholders of Nigeria Aviation Handling Company PLC. I welcome you once more to the 41st Annual General Meeting of NAHCO PLC. As registrars, we are here to deliver the attendance report for this meeting. We received a total of 163 duly executed proxies, amounting to 719,433,114 units of shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Registrar. In accordance with Article 62 of the Company's Articles of Association, the quorum for this meeting is 25 members present in person or by proxy, holding not less than 10% of the issued share capital. Therefore, considering the 163 members' attendance as confirmed by the Registrar, a quorum has been duly formed for this meeting, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Company Secretary. Having confirmed that we have a quorum for the meeting, I now declare the meeting open. I would like to call on the hotel management to deliver a safety briefing to the meeting by Emmanuel Nathan, right?
Good morning, sirs and ma. You're welcome, Providence Hotel. I'm representing the management. Here at Providence, we try to make sure everything is fine. Sorry, I have to remove my face mask. Don't be annoyed that I'm wearing face mask because I'm used to wearing it for the past 3 years. So for me, it's become a day without face mask. It's like a day without sunshine. All right, so we are talking about security here. In this hall, this is one of the biggest halls. We have several exits. For this meeting, this is one, and this is the second exit. You also have two at the back there, but it's for service, but in case of emergency, you can also use the back. Today, as a hotel, we will not be having fire drill. In case you hear of fire alarm, take it as real and kindly move to the muster point around the car park. Also, if you're lodged here, in terms of alarm, please do not use the elevator because it will be disabled at that time. Just use the staircase. If you're here and you need any other thing, just call our reception. They will send an appropriate person to you. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. In line with notice of meeting and our 2021 annual report and accounts, already in your possession, we have the business of the meeting set out therein. Shareholders will be asked to consider each item on the agenda, and we have the opportunity to second each motion put to the meeting. There will then be an opportunity for questions on the motions before the votes on them are taken. Shareholders have been provided with a link to join this meeting virtually. I would like to introduce members of the board, starting with myself. My name still remains Dr. Shende Oladapo Fadeni. On my immediate right is Mr. Idrani Gupta, is the managing director. On my immediate left is the company secretary, Alhaji Bello. Next to Idrani is Engineer Sholabade Alabi. And next to him is Mrs. Abimbola Adebakin. Next to him is Prince Sahid Lasisi. And next to him is Dr. Peter Olushola Olabori. On my immediate left, after Mr. Bello Abdullah Deko, is Engineer Mohamed Gamboma, the Vice Chairman. After him is Mr. Kiwumi Fanemokun. And you can see that he stood up. He's used to AGM. All other people were waving to you. Make sure you ask all of them questions that didn't stand up, man. Don't worry. Then the next person to him is Mr. Tajuddin Moyosola Shobayo. He got the message. And next to him is Mr. Tafik Salman. Sanwosu is a bit, is not here today, but he's here with his spirits. We wish him well. Somebody who is supposed to be here too is not here. That's Professor Okpara. He called me this morning and said he has a problem with flights. I hope he will be here before the end of the program. So representing Cardinal Stone Registrars Limited, the registrar of our company is Mr. Raymond Akokota. Okay. And then we have the representative of Ernst & Young, the external auditors of our company, Mrs. Omolola Abisoye. You know, when I say auditors, I'm always afraid, you know. Next to her is the chairman of the audit committee, Dr. Awhua Okwanama. With the gray hair, I don't have problem again. Next to her is the chairman of audit committee. Okay. At the table to my extreme right, we have representative of Security and Exchange Commission, Mr. M.B. Ikpeme. Welcome. Representing the Corporate Affairs Commission is Mrs. Akintilebo Oduronke. I hope I got it right. Welcome, madam. The representative of Nigerian Exchange, NGS, Mrs. Antonia Ame, we monitor the meeting virtually. You can always see that one by the spirit. You can't see her here. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I now call on the company secretary to read the notice of meeting. Thank you. Who is that? Unfortunately, that is my person. My personal person. Sorry, it's not me, it's this company secretary. Did you put it there? Confess your sins. I recognize you, Mrs. Bakari. You always are first.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, notice is hereby given that the 41st Annual General Meeting of Nigeria Aviation Handling Company PLC, NAHCO AVIANCE, will hold at this hotel, Providence Hotel, Martins Oba, Akinjobi Crescent, Ikeja, GRA, Lagos. Today, Friday, 29th July 2022, at 11 a.m. to transact the following businesses. Ordinary business. 1, to lay the audited financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2021, together with the report of the directors, external auditors, and audit committee thereon. 2, to declare a dividend recommended by the board of directors of the company in respect of the financial year ended 31st December 2021. 3, to elect the following directors. A, Mr. Indranil Gupta, Group Managing Director. B, Dr. Peter Olusola Obabori, Executive Director. 4, to re-elect the following directors who being eligible offer themselves for re-election. A, Engineer Mohammed Gambo Umar, MNI, FNSE, Non-Executive Director. B, Mr. Akinwumi Godson Panimokun, Independent Non-Executive Director. C, Mr. Tajuddin Moyoshola Shobayo, Non-Executive Director. Item 5, to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the external auditors. 6, to disclose the remuneration of managers of the company. 7, to elect members of the audit committee. There are special businesses also to consider, and if thought fit, pass the following resolutions. Number 8, to approve the remuneration of the directors of the company for the year ending 31st December 2022. 9, that pursuant to Rule 20.8 of the Nigeria Exchange Issuers Rule, that the general mandate given to the company to procure goods and services and enter into such incidental transactions necessary for its day-to-day operations from its related parties or interested persons on normal commercial terms be and is hereby renewed. 10, to consider and if thought fit pass the following ordinary resolution, that the sum of 162,421,875 Naira be transferred from the company's retained earnings or other reserve accounts to the share capital account. The amount thus transferred shall represent the value of 324,843,750 ordinary shares of 50 kobo each, as fully paid up and distributed among members whose names are registered in the company's register of members at the close of business on Friday, 15th July 2022, in the proportion of 1 new share of 50 kobo each for every 5 existing shares of 50 kobo each held by them. The shares distributed shall rank pari passu with the existing shares in all respect and will be treated for all purposes as capital and not as income. That the directors be and are hereby authorized to enter into and execute agreements, deeds, notices, or any other documents, and to perform all acts and to do all such other things necessary for or incidental to giving effect to Resolution 10A above, including without limitation appointing such professional parties, consultants, and advisors, and complying with the directives of the regulatory authorities without being required to seek any further consent or approval of the members or otherwise to end an intent. That the members shall be deemed to have given approval into thereto expressly by the authority of the above resolutions, that where the issuance of the bonus shares results in a fraction of a share being held, the company be authorized to round that fraction down to the nearest whole share or 0, as the directors may deem fit. 11, that the directors be and are hereby authorized to take all steps necessary to comply with the requirements of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 and the Companies Regulations 2021 as they relate to unissued shares of the company, including the cancellation of the 1,050,937,500 unissued ordinary shares of the company, and that the directors be and are hereby authorized to enter and execute agreements, deeds, notices, or any other documents, and to perform all acts and to do all such other things necessary for the or incidental to giving effect to the Resolution 11.1 above, including without limitation appointing such professional parties, such consultants and advisors, and complying with the directives of the regulatory authorities. 12, that pursuant to Resolutions 11 above, the directors be and are hereby authorized to alter Clause 6 of the Memorandum and Articles of the company to read: the share capital of the company is 974,531,250 shares divided into 1,947,062,500 ordinary shares of 50 kobo each, whose power to increase the capital and to divide the capital for the time being into several classes of shares and to attach thereto any preferential, deferred, qualified, or special rights, privileges, or conditions. B, that the directors be and are hereby authorized to enter and execute agreements, deed notices, or any other documents, and to perform all acts and do all such other things necessary for or incidental to giving effect to Resolution 12A above, including without limitation appointing such professional parties, consultants, and advisors, and complying with the directives of the regulatory authorities. Attendance by proxy. In view of the directives on physical distancing and restraint on maximum number of people at every gathering due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the meeting will hold by proxy in accordance with Section 254 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act and as approved by the Corporate Affairs Commission. Consequently, members are required to appoint a proxy of their choice from the list of the proposed proxies to represent them at the meeting. The proxies are: number 1, Dr. Shende Oladapo Padeni, the chairman; Sir Sunday Ndamdi Unwosu, KSS; Number 3, Mrs. Adebisi Oluwemisi Bakare. A member of the company entitled to attend and vote at the meeting is entitled to appoint a proxy to attend and vote in his or her place. A proxy need not to be a member of the company. A proxy form is enclosed in the annual report. For the instrument of proxy to be valid for the purposes of this meeting, it must be duly completed, duly stamped, and must be deposited at the office of the registrar, Cardinal Stone Registrars Limited, at their address, number 352 Haban Macaulay Way by St. Dominic Catholic Church, Saboyaba, Lagos, or by email to their email address, registrars at cardinalstone.com, not less than 48 hours before the time fixed for the meeting. The cost of stamping the proxy forms will be borne by the company. Dividend. If the dividend recommended by the directors is approved, dividend will be paid today, 29th July 2022, to the shareholders whose names appear in the register of members at close of business on Friday, 15th July 2022. Bonus issue. If the bonus issue recommended by the directors is approved, bonus shall be issued in the ratio of 1 new share for every 5 existing shares held by shareholders whose name appear in the register of members at close of business on Friday, 15th July 2022, subject to approval of the appropriate regulatory authorities. Thank you. Thank you.
So thank you.
Distinguished members. So all the notice is by order of the board. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. That was a good one. Distinguished shareholders, I would like to proceed with reading my statement. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. I declare the motion carried. And I ask the representative of the auditors to read out the auditor's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, distinguished shareholders and the board members. My name is Omolola Alebioshu. The audit opinion starts from page 46 to page 50 of the financial statements. With the shareholders and the board of directors' permission, I would like to read the audit opinion and base our audit opinion on page 46, then proceed to page 50 to read the report on other legal and regulatory requirements. Thank you. Independent auditors report to the members of Nigeria Aviation Handling Company PLC. Report on the audit of consolidated and separate financial statements. Our opinion. We have audited the consolidated and separate financial statements of Nigeria Aviation Handling Company PLC, the company and its subsidiaries, together the group, which comprise the consolidated and separate statement of financial position as at 31st December 2021, the statement of the consolidated and separate statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, the consolidated and separate statement of changes in equity, and consolidated and separate statement of cash flows for the year ended, and notes to the consolidated and separate financial statements, including summary of significant accounting policies. In our opinion, the accompanying consolidated and separate financial statement give a true and fair view of the consolidated and separate financial position of the group and the company as of 31st December 2021, and its consolidated and separate financial performance and consolidated and separate cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with International Financial Reporting Standards, the provisions of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, and in compliance with Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria Act No. 6, 2011. Basis for our opinion. We conducted our audit in accordance with International Standards on Auditing, ISAs. Our responsibility under those standards are further described in auditor's responsibility for the audit of the consolidated and separate financial statement section of our report. We are independent of the group and the company in accordance with International Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants, including International Independent Standards, IESBA Code, together with other ethical requirements that are relevant to our audit of the consolidated and separate financial statement in Nigeria. We have fulfilled other ethical responsibilities in accordance with these requirements and the IESBA Code. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide basis for our opinion. Page 50. Report on other legal and regulatory requirements. In accordance with the requirements of the 5th schedule of the Companies and Allied Matter Act 2020, we confirm that 1. We have obtained all information and explanation which to the best of our knowledge and belief were necessary for the purpose of our audit. 2. In our opinion, proper books of account have been kept by the group and the company insofar as appears from our examination of those books. 3. The consolidated and separate statement of financial position and consolidated and separate statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income are in agreement with books of accounts. In our opinion, the consolidated and separate financial statements have been prepared in accordance with the provisions of the Companies and Allied Matter Act 2020, so far as appears from to give a true and fair view as we state the state of affairs of the firm and its subsidiaries. Signed by Omolola, dated 31st March 2022. Thank you.
Thank you once again. The audited financial statements for the year ended, and I ask the chairman of the audit committee to read out the report on the audit committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Distinguished members. The report of the Audit Committee is on page 43 of the annual account. Report of the Audit Committee for the year ended 31st December 2021. In accordance with the provision of Section 404 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, members of the Audit Committee of Nigerian Aviation Handling Company PLC report as follows. We have exercised our statutory functions under Section 404 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, and we acknowledge the cooperation of management and staff in the conduct of these responsibilities. We confirm that, 1, the accounting and reporting policies of the group are consistent with legal requirements and agreed ethical practices. 2, the scope and planning of the external audits are in our opinion adequate. 3, the internal control system was in order. 4, the independent auditor's management letter comments were satisfactorily dealt with by the management. 5, we have reviewed the consolidated and separate audited financial statements prior to the board's approval, signed by Dr. Okpan Awa RM, Chairman, Audit Committee, dated 29 March 2022. Members of the Audit Committee, Dr. Okban Awa Erem, Shareholders Representative, Chairman, Mr. Mohamed Gambo Fage, Shareholders Representative, Mrs. Adebisi Oluwayemisi Bakare, Shareholders Representatives, Engineer Mohamed Gambo Omar, MNI, Non-Executive Director, Mr. Tajuddin Moyoshola Shobayo, Non-Executive Director. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, sir. The audited financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2021, together with directors' report, and the reports of auditors and audit committee have been circulated to all shareholders as required by law. I hereby lay the audited financial statement for the year ended 31st of December 2021, the report of the directors, the auditors, and the audit committee thereon before the meeting. I'm sure what I have in my hand is the same thing with yours. Shareholders now have the opportunity to ask questions and make comments relating to the reports and accounts. In doing so, however, it will help to ensure that we give the right answers if you could refer to the page of the annual report and accounts to which your questions relates. Please note that all questions will be taken together and answers provided later. So, shareholders. So let me just close my eyes and point.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you so much, sir. Good morning, members of the board, the regulators around in the hall, distinguished shareholders present here this morning. My name is Alaja Ayodele Kudaisi of Independent Shareholders Association of Nigeria. Mr. Chairman, I want to start my comments on the financial highlight.
Page what?
Page 4. Page 4, Mr. Chairman. I just want to say that the result we are considering this morning is a very good one. And they deserve a round of applause for the result. The turnover is about 44% up. Our profit moved up compared with last year by 125%. That is a profit before tax. And the profit after tax is about 99% up. That is wonderful. Expected credit loss, however, dropped by 1.676%. However, I still want us to work more on the credit loss to bring it to as near 0% as possible. However, there's need to bring, okay, I've said that. Our basic earning is up by from 12 to 41 kobo. And I want to thank God again for the bonus we are being given today. It is very, very wonderful of NAHCO. Can you give them a round of applause for that, please? Mr. Chairman, on page 7. I want to speak to unclaimed dividend. Unclaimed dividend, Mr. Chairman, which is on page 7. I'm begging our registrars and at the same time, all those that have anything to do with the unclaimed dividend, if we're going to be going zone by zone to take this dividend to because some of them have actually relocated, some have retired, and they are the interns. So if they were going to engage our registrars to do a zonal tour to release all this unclaimed dividend to their owners, I will appreciate that. Because a new head is being appointed. Why am I saying this? A new head is being appointed for the shareholders trust fund. And from the vineyard, and from the vineyard anyway, the person is very close to the government of the day. And if care is not taken, immediately it takes over, definitely the whole of the dividend for the shareholders will be transferred to the federal government, because they are looking for money at all costs and from any place they can lay hand upon, even including dormant accounts. You can imagine all those things. Please, we need to be fast and do whatever we can do to make the unclaimed dividend figure very unattractive to the federal government. It is very, very important. And I'm enjoining the registrars to take this task up for us. Then, again, on the same page, like I said, okay, sorry, I don't want to go into the account simply because this account is an improvement. I can only wish that NAHCO will work more and give us much more better account come next year. Let me go to page 9. Page 9, sir.
Page 9.
Yes, under the subsidiaries. The subsidiaries, I want to ask, what level are we on the subsidiary number 3 as listed on this annual account? That's the new subsidiary that has to do with NAHCO Energy, Power and Infrastructures Limited. What level are we on this project? Are we looking at solar, wind, or whichever? So I just need to be educated on this. On page 8, I want to congratulate us on the arrays of awards we won during the course of the year. I want us to keep it up. God will continue to be with us.
Thank you,
On page 12, sorry, page 13, where we have the picture of our new incoming MD, I simply want to congratulate the new MD and to ask him that, and to wish you well and happy with your stay in Nigeria, and to tell you that this account of today, you have to double it for us by next year. By God's grace. God will help you. Finally, I'm rounding up. I'm sorry. I'm rounding up. Page 86. Under admin expenses, I'm so happy about one single item there. That is the training, internal and external. You know what that one means? It means we are producing expertise. I know the cost is high. If you want to eat something that is good, you must pay for it. So we are producing expertise on this, our business, you know, by taking our people for training both internally and externally. I want to say kudos to the management for that singular act, and I appreciate all your effort. Thank you very much for the opportunity, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, ma'am. And please, let's observe anything that has been spoken about. We don't need to talk about it again. So can we have more time? Should I close my eyes or I just open my eyes? Okay, you, the one in red, don't worry, I'll come to you. Don't worry. Sometimes it's pendulum. It works this way, it goes this way. You just don't worry to get to you.
Mr. Chairman, other erudite scholars on the board of NAHCO, and distinguished shareholders, God bless you. Mr. Chairman, in the G3, I'm going to hand the microphone to the next person.
Your name is what?
Honorable Bright Nwabuogo. I am the National President of ABA, Shareholders Association of Nigeria. Sir, page 31, physically challenged persons. I want to applaud the policies of this company in respect to this. From what was stated here, there was no bias in terms of recruitment. I want to oblige this board to look inwardly, to employ certified, educated, physical discharged persons. We have brilliant ones littered all over Nigerians that can add value to this company. My question, sir, do we have whistleblowing policy in this great company?
Capital yes.
If we do, what are the policies of the company to protect the identity of the whistleblowers so that they will not be harmed? Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I will answer that. Thank you very much. That was a brief word. You know, we have just 5 spaces.
Chairman, because you have done very well, I'm not going to take your time, but it's good to be on a sudden if I come here without saying something. So that would not be good. Mr. Chairman of NAHCO AVIANCE PLC, our great directors and distinguished fellow shareholders, good morning. My name is Okizia Boniface, the National Chairman of Progressive Shareholders. Mr. Chairman, NAHCO AGM is AGM that shareholders celebrate their performance and evaluate the year performance of our great company. When those old days, things are good, it's been a AGM of celebration, and we'll commend and applaud, and they will go back the following year. They will now come back and showcase and appreciate that praise, that encomium we pour on them. That has been the AGM, free from rancor. It has not been the AGM where we fight and friend our faces. I think, Chairman, since you came on board, you have maintained that status quo. I want to commend you for your leadership you have displayed in NAHCO, making it a great company. Other ones, they're just following, but this is a leading company in aviation today, service provided. Mr. Chairman, when I get to the airport, and I had a letter from the aircraft, coming down to the terminal to clear our goods, our luggages from the waiting. When I see our equipment, those of loading, and they be delayed to discharging them for conveyor belt for people to take the luggage, it gripped my heart that this is not NAHCO, I'm a member. But I can't go back to talk on those staffs, you know, who delay, people who waited hours. I think we should be able to look at that and put a thorough supervisor at the airport to make sure that our company deliver fast and make sure that those luggages are evacuated as soon as possible so that people don't waste their time at the airport. We should look into that. Most time to complain. But you know, when you are at that place, you can't go back to talk to them. These are things we should be able to do. Or report back to the company. Because we're all stakeholders. If your chairman is not there, I'm there. I represent the chairman. And that's what I do in the banking hall. When I go there, I call them immediately. So things I found is not going well. Because the man-hour loss is something. So NAHCO must be up and doing. Our staff, those at the airport there, they are our ambassadors. They should make us proud. And that's why I'm employing this company to make sure a good supervisor is there to supervise what they're doing. Having said that, Mr. Chairman, I want to commend for this 41 kobo. You almost pay out the earning, the basic earning of 46 kobo. You only taking back 5 kobo, which is good. But even at the earning grows 10 billion as against 7,
and profit after tax, 771. Mr. Chairman, that earning should have even double to 1 Naira, not this 46 kobo. And that's the area we should work upon. So that come next year, I don't want to leave here. Yes, 12, last year, 12.77, 12.5 dividend. And today there's a lot increase. By next year, I know because of the bonus. Mr. Chairman, I am hoping and believing, even though that the bonus will attract dividend come next year, 1 for 5 we are giving us. That's a good one. Even if I'm saying it now, because the most worrisome is not the company. By the time we pass the resolution today, and they tidied it up to say to SEC, so almighty regulators, who are problem, it will take time, but they are collecting money from it. You are going to register it, and they will collect their money. It will take another donkey years before they return it to you for registrars to start crediting us. You know, that's what we are in today. Everything is collapsing under our head. And like the earlier speaker said about unclaimed dividend, Mr. Chairman, today it's happening in the banking industry. They said there was a circular. Every family meeting, like we both here, in every country we are, even abroad, we have our family meetings and club. That also applies to Yoruba people. I think maybe other ethnic people, you know, they have their meetings and club. It doesn't require CAC registration, Mr. Chairman, to cry loud. But today in the bank, those accounts have been existing because they want to work on a way to take away half people's money. CBN has come another way that you need to go to CAC to register my family meeting that have been existed before Nigeria, that have been existed before the Constitution, that have been existed before the BOFIA, that existed before CAC. And if you go and register for CAC, is it a business name that has less than 2 signatories? That's what they are doing. Dormant account is not certified with them. They are cornering it in any corner. But at the end of the day, what do we get? Bad road, no run public water anywhere in the country. But to have water corporations, what are they doing? Nothing. This unclaimed dividend, the company secretary must liaise with the registrars. Unfortunately, I didn't see a list of unclaimed today, so that we can point out our members or people who know on their names on the unclaimed dividend list. Go and collect their dividends. I know Cardinal Stone is up and doing, because I can talk about that. Their fees also increase because based on what they do, they're rendering good services. The chairman, when the company secretary was reading, I read to them. They are still at the opposite Dominic. They are no longer there. They should update our company that they are now at Sabo bus stop. You know. No, he didn't read. He said he was close to Dominic. I was listening, pay attention. He said Dominic Catholic Church. They are no longer there, over there, you know. So they should update you where they are today. That's very, very important. Mr. Chairman, I want to say this account is good. I want to commend the Agon MD. She has played her role. And today, our new MD has come. All of us are colonized by the Britain, Commonwealth. So Nigeria is not new to you. All of us are colonized by the Britain. They are still holding us down today. I want to, because India has overtaken Nigeria. That's the truth. They have overtaken Nigeria in every stratus of life. I believe you are coming here, we bring those international clients we have lost, go back for them and bring them back on board. That NAHCO is doing very well. Maybe you are coming also today, we look at the EPZ, and with the chairman, that place must be resuscitated, begin to function. We must begin to see it. I know that things are not working in this plant of clients. Things are not working. But NAHCO must do everything. Showcase that EPZ very soon. It's very important for us. It also contributes to the bottom line of the dividend we're talking about. Mr. Chairman, on page 32, I have to commend you on the board attendance and other subcommittees. With audit committee members, they have done very well. I think we'll have seasoned people there on the board. They have done very well. And attendance. And that's why the good policy have been formulated. If you don't attend board meetings and et cetera, the subcommittees, the policy will be had to come out for the management to implement, carry out what board have been done. Including Samuel, who is unavailable absent. I want to commend him. Thank God for his life. That enemy come threatening. But God have given him victory. So he have done well in contributing for the growth of this company. And we pray that good Lord will return him safely back home to join us. In the next year, James will see him sitting there by God's grace. Mr. Chairman, finally, yes, I want to touch base. On page 86 and 87, I want to pick something there. Mr. Chairman, I want to commend the management for their prudence. Even though some areas increased, 2.5 billion, that's the group. And the company itself, 2.3 billion, as against 2.185. I mean, there's a level of prudence there. Cost of doing business in Nigeria is high. Even diesel today is about 800 or 700, you know. Today's dollar is about 720. You know, cost of doing business is high. But if you bring it down, we applaud you. But we must also look other areas. Look at security here. Mr. Chairman, I'm frightening. When private sector will provide security for themselves, then we pay tax to the government. Then what are we now obliged to the government? What are they doing for us? If we now provide security to safeguard our investments, safeguard our equipment, safeguard our where we're working and our homes, then what is government doing? What is the question of the tax we paid? Then there will not be government. Everybody's on your government on your own. And that's why they say defend yourselves. As if they're giving us gun to defend ourselves. Mr. Chairman, I pity companies, you know. That's why we are. The level of insecurity. We have to provide other securities. We provide for this security and other securities. Mr. Chairman, these are costs I'm talking about. How do we bring this thing down? Because you must be in business if you don't provide security. If equipment have been vandalized, that means you're off. Out of business. This is where we are today. Having said that, Mr. Chairman, I want to commend the auditors for maintaining the status quo. They didn't increase. So, S.N. Young, you have done well. But if I praise you, that does not mean you should increase come next year. I know things are hard. The inflation is there. But if you should increase, you have to minimize it. Don't over-volute it so that we should also have things to share. And, you know, I want to commend our staffs for being there for us, for their good work, for the good cake they have baked. The staff, kudos to you, but keep it up. That come next year, at least 70 kobo or 100 kobo must be paid as dividend. God bless NAHCO staff, God bless shareholder, and God bless our client. Because aviation sector is in turbulent, but we'll navigate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much,
NAHCO.
sir. The next person beside the pastor.
Thank you for the opportunity. I'm Comrade Lawrence Oguntoye, all the way from Ibadan. I want to appreciate the board because I don't want to deep in much into the financial indices, which is positive. And sincerely speaking, I want to appreciate my able chairman for the wisdom that you have used to dramatize on that board to manage our company. I want to say, despite of a foreign exchange increase, insecurity, you are able to present us this wonderful financial performance. I want to say kudos to you. And when I look at the area that gladdens me much apart from the dividend, you are able to give us bonus as well, 1 for 5. That has to do with the market appreciation. And that's to do that shows that you are effective at this uncertainty period we find ourselves in Nigeria. Most companies do use the opportunity of these uncertainties to cover up. But from your angle, based on your proactiveness, you put a smile on our face. Also, I cannot but to appreciate this annual report is well explicit and it's understandable to the layman understanding. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I want to say thank you. And at the same time to appreciate our CFO. Based on my profession, he performed excellently. I couldn't find error because from my profession, I look for error. When I look at it, I could see that he dramatized his professionalism. I want to say thank you to that. And also, I want to appreciate the internal and external auditor as well. They perform magic one. When I gone through the annual reports, I observed that we purchased an equipment, 1.5 billion. And I know that it's going to create weight on NAHCO Aviation. And also when I gone through the annual report, I could see that our liquidity is very strong. And the board beat their chest by showing to us that the future of this company is very bright. And whatever business we intend to go for, they are capable. So far the liquidity is strong. So far the capital is also is strong. So I want to appreciate you in that regard. And also I want to appreciate the CS for his excellent performance on that table. Mr. Bello, thank you. It's accessible. I want to appreciate you. Our audit committee, we appreciate you as well. So on a final note, I want to believe that based on your envious performance, but before I go, New MD, they said something positive concerning you. When I go to the annual report, you have an envious profile. But at this time of a dollar that has increased to 730, I believe that you are coming to hard intrinsic value and also to perform magic one. We really need your magic. You know you are from India. We need your magician here. I know that you're going to put smile on our face because coming next year, our profitability must robust beyond this. On a final note, I want to say thank you for the opportunity. Congratulations to NAHCO Aviation. Congratulations to eminent shareholders. When I wish every one of us safe journey to our respective home. Thank you for the opportunity. God bless you.
Wow. Just one more chance, right? The woman. The woman. You and me, we know what to say.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is David Aninke Okoyemi. I'm the National Coordinator of Esteemed Shareholders of the Nigerian. Actually, I don't want to repeat what the early speakers have said. They have already spoke good thing about NAHCO, but let me join them to congratulate this board for the good performance, for the award that we acquired since 2016, 17, 18, 2021 to date. Mr. Chairman, you are really done well for this NAHCO. I really appreciate the dividend you giving to us and a bonus of 1 for 5. Kudos to you, sir. Finally, I want to thank all the staffs because they are the ones that are baking the cake we are sharing today. May God bless you all. Thank you for the opportunity given to me.
Chairman, I want to thank you for the special grace. In fact, he has taken over the position of chairman. My name is Patrick Ajudua. I want to specially thank you and the members of the board and to welcome the MD. I want to also place it on record, sir, that we are appreciative of your visionary leadership, and we pray to God to continue to give you a good health to lead the board in the right direction. While we also welcome the new MD, Mr. Gupta, and the new director, Dr. Peter Obabori, we pray that they will continue in the good legacy left behind by the others who are living. We thank Mrs. Fagbemi. She has done extremely very well because this is the account that we are considering. And we hope that she will find a very good place in our future engagements. The chairman, I joined them to commend the account. You have done extremely very well, despite the level we find ourselves in this country. It goes to show the result of hard work, resilience, and capital discipline needed to sustain a very strong growth of the company. On page 11, Mr. Chairman, I want to commend the federal government through the NCAA for approving the new safety threshold charges for services rendered by ground handling company. With this development, it is expected that the issue of price war and unhealthy rivalry among industry players will be put behind. Mr. Chairman, they have talked about the 1.5 billion for the equipment, but my question is our expectation from it, hoping that it will return a huge profit for us. Mr. Chairman, I joined them to commend them on the dividend and the bonus issue, and to ask God that He will give you the grace to move from a copper dividend to a Naira paying dividend. Mr. Chairman, one thing that strikes my mind is the fact that NAHCO has become a leading player. And it is on this note we tell the MD it can't go down below this performance. Last year, if you check the account, we closed at 2.5 Naira per share. NAHCO rose during this year up to April, May to 7 Naira 20 kobo. That is returning over 180% to stakeholders. Please let's give a wonderful round of applause to them. Mr. Chairman, it is a testimony to the impressive financial performance and the generous bonus issue you are giving to us. I will want to talk on the external auditors' findings on page 47, and that has to do with their key audit matter. The allowance for credit loss represents over 32% of gross trade receivable. The concern here is the uncertainty, and I want you to underline it, is the uncertainty over the collectibility of receivable from specific customer. That is what they are highlighting in their. And considering the fact that most of these customers are yet to recover from COVID-19 related impact, the issues of liquidity occasioned by high cost of aviation fuel and high forests, what are you doing to address this issue? Because it's of concern to them. Mr. Chairman, on page 95, we have, that's on prepayments. We have a deposit for plant PP&M, 1.93 billion. Have these assets been delivered? And has it been put into use? Mr. Chairman, they have talked about the unclaimed dividend. I want to emphasize that Mr. Chan, you have not seen it. Page 95 on PP&M. There's an equipment that was delivered for 1.93 billion. I'll be asking whether the asset have been delivered and whether it has been put into use. While I emphasize on the unclaimed dividend along with them, is that efforts must be made. I want to thank the company secretariat and the registrar. I, as shareholder, confirm to you, sir, that they have received, along with the annual report, the unclaimed dividend report for the company. So we'll join hands with them. It's not them alone. It's a collective work, the registrar, the regulator, the shareholders, so that we can both see how this value can come down. On page 104 is the deferred issue of NEPC grants. A grant of 1 billion was received by the company for the building of 5 numbers warehouse for exportation in Lagos, Abuja, Kano, and Port Harcourt. My question is, what is the extent of work so far on this, and what is our expectation as a shareholder? On a final note, Mr. Chairman, is the fact that of recent, a bill was passed by the Senate, and that bill was titled NYSC Trust Fund. The bill itself is waiting for a concurrent passage from the House of Rep. And where it concerns us as shareholder is that the bill specifically said that 1% of the profit after tax of company must be made to this fund. It implies that they are trying to tax company out of existence in Nigeria. And I say it because it is very bad. When you go to page 82 on the report you are having, you will see a breakdown of taxes that companies are paying. From company income tax on page 82, you have education tax, you have NITDA tax, you have police trust fund tax, NASENI, and now we are talking about NYSC. And so as shareholders, we have written to the House of Rep to take a second look, not to concur to that COVID-related bill. Because it is not in the interest of companies in Nigeria. If you tax them out, they will leave this country and will suffer more. So as shareholders, it's not for us only to come and clap here. We want it responsibility to follow up when we have this type of thing. And write also to the president to have a second look at it after addressing issue of security. So that these issues must not see the light of the day. Otherwise, company will be taxed out in Nigeria. So this is the level we are in, Mr. Chairman. And I want to assure you of our maximum cooperation, of our maximum support to ensure that NAHCO continue in the right direction, continue to provide the right atmosphere. And by the grace of God, the chairman, I believe we are going to rise above this level we are in now in this country.
Amen.
I thank the company secretary who have been doing a lot of good work and high level of professionalism. We pray that both him and the company and you, God will continue to protect all of us from this evil art of banditry, terrorism, and kidnapping, because it is not good for business. For business to strive, we need security. And where there is no security, there can be business. So we pray God to help to restore a good security to our country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, esteemed shareholders. I want to thank God and thank my fellow directors for all the kudos you are giving to me. It's not, I couldn't have done it alone. I have wonderful directors working with me on this board. They've been doing very, very, very well. I also want to thank the chief executives and the executives on the management side. Let's take the questions one by one. Equipment. Right now, we are not even doing 1.5 billion. We are doing almost 4 billion. We are trying to buy a lot of equipment. It is very important because most of our equipments are very, very old. Some of them are 22 years old, some of them are 15. So during the board meeting yesterday, I made it very, very clear that we're going to have a massive purchase of equipment. Just a few weeks ago, or a week ago, we just promoted about 1,037 staff of NAHCO. Our staff are our assets. And even if you have good equipment, and if the staff are not motivated, you won't get good results. And I'm very happy to announce to you what I just said. Unfortunately, again, yesterday, or the day before yesterday, after coming back from a trip outside the country by around 5, I heard that we lost the chairman of the union of NAHCO, the person of DG. Very sad note. He's a very hardworking guy. I had to go to the family around 12 a.m. to see them. May his soul rest in perfect peace. More shares. I want to tell you, I want to give you one secret. Don't sell your shares. By all means, don't sell them. Some people are asking for 70 kobo. Some people are asking for 1 Naira next year. The performance we taste you. I can assure you that. So we are working very, very hard to make NAHCO, if we can't pay like banks, we will pay like banks in shares. So just a few weeks ago, we moved from the lower cadre of NGS to the middle, and that sounds a good note. Unclaimed dividends, we've spoken so much about that one. What level are we in number 3? What is number 3? Madam, you are the one that asked that question. On subsidiaries. Okay, that is on the IPI power, NAHCO power. So we have a plan in hand, and by the time we come back next year, we should have got to a level that you will be proud of. We will try as much as possible, because what we are trying to do is to create an ecosystem in NAHCO. We don't just want to rely on aircraft, on the services of aircraft alone, or cargo and others. We're trying to see what we can do and make sure that we increase the bottom line so that everybody can be happy. Training. On training, I mean, just as you have seen, we are spending so much on training. We had a long discussion on this again yesterday in the board meeting. What we're trying to do is to create an academy in NAHCO where other people, we even send people to come and train their staff. We want to build a structure, get experts to come from abroad to come and train our people. We also want to try, we are trying to liaise with the airlines, where we send our staff to those airline countries, and they will train them for us. Without training, we can't get anywhere. We can't get the best out of the staff, because nobody can deliver what he don't have. And this is some of our flying. Then, about certified physical challenge people. For me, I encourage everybody. And you find out that there is a problem in the world now, and people don't understand. People with autism. You find out that people with autism are the best in abroad. But here in Nigeria, we start taking them. I'm not saying we should not go to churches. I'm a Christian. I believe in God. I have faith in God. However, when some of these things happen, we always take it in a negative way. It's challenging training those children, but at the end of the day, they come out to be the best in their classes. So for me, anybody that is physically challenged, when I go on the road and I see people asking for money on the road, I would rather not give the money to the person that is asking me for the money. I will give it to the person that is selling the water. I will add money to the money of that water. So I found out that by the time I come back the next day on that axis, you will see the physical challenge person. He will have carried some bottles of water on his head. Then I will now add money to that money, and that is what I do. So for me, as much as I want to take them special, I also believe they can deliver, because there's nothing wrong with their brain. It's only the physical side that they are challenged. And it's not their own making. Anybody can be challenged. We all pray that we will not form a victim. But NAHCO will not. I mean, we won't say because anybody is physically challenged, we won't employ them. We will employ you. The most important thing is you deliver, and we are okay with it. Now, I heard what you said, sir, about conveyor belts, about service delivery. I've also been a victim without people knowing I'm the chairman of NAHCO. I've had a situation where I had to stay for almost sometimes 2 hours. And I cannot tell you that when those kind of things happen, I will wait till the last person will take his luggage before I leave the place, so that I will be able to see the end of it. However, some of those challenges are not our making. It is the infrastructure of government. For example, we are not in charge of conveyor belt, but unfortunately, even you and me, before I got to NAHCO, I thought it was NAHCO that was in charge of conveyor belt. NAHCO is not in charge of conveyor belt. As a matter of fact, you cannot even go and put it on until one FAAN guy comes to put it on. And the guy that wants to put it on might be in the local while you are in the international. So what do? You just have to wait. But trusting God, the concession is on. We believe that once it goes into the hand of the private sector, there will be more delivery for the service, and we hope to get in better. But as for us, we are doing everything possible to make sure that people get their luggage on time. It's also funny, and that is the truth, for all of us that have traveled before, where your luggage is to the custom or to the immigration is about, sometimes can be 30 minutes. In Nigeria, it's just 5 minutes. So before you finish from the line, by the time you finish from the line, you expect your luggage to have been on the carousel. And at the end of the day, if you don't see it, everybody starts shouting. But if you go to Heathrow, you are still on the immigration. Before you finish in the immigration, it will take you at least 10, 20 minutes. Before you walk down, if you are not in a place where you have to enter the train again to go and get your luggage, you are lucky. The minimum you can have is 15 to 20 minutes. That does not happen in Nigeria. That does not mean that we will not do what we are supposed to do, but we should just be patient with ourselves and everything will be okay. Now, on security. security is in the hand of God. The only thing we can do is to provide the world we can and continue to pray for the government to provide more security for everybody. The most important thing is that in our own environments, we try to put CCTV everywhere. And we are monitoring everybody, and that has reduced drastically. Unlike before, when you come to Nigeria and you see your back cut off, it doesn't happen again. In fact, when I travel nowadays, when they said you want to put padlock, when my wife said you want to put padlock, I said, what do I want to put padlock for? Nobody will steal my things. And that confidence is coming up, and I don't think anybody will steal anybody's things again. Now, the new rate, thank God. And that is why I can confidently tell you that you will have more than one Naira share dividend next year. NAPC, yesterday we were lucky. Out of the 5 airports that were giving, that was giving grants to, NAHCO was the only one that was giving those grants. It's not that our competitor didn't try. They are our friends. I don't call them enemies. They are our friends. In fact, the chairman is my very, very good friend. But this is competition, this is business, this is money. So we are working well through the grace of God. Yesterday we did the foundation. The head of NAPC was there. We've given the contractor 140 days to finish, and we will monitor him to finish that. With that, I think I've attended to everything. Thank you very much. We will see how it goes. So I call on the registrar to explain the poll voting procedure to the members for passing the resolutions to be proposed at this meeting. Registrar, please come out and come and explain.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, distinguished shareholders. We're about to commence the voting session, and voting session will be by poll. We have distributed voting devices to shareholders in this meeting. I kindly be informed that any button on the voting device powers on the voting device. Now, if you are voting in favor of any resolution, you press the number 1 button, and thereafter you press the OK button to submit your vote. If you are voting against any resolution, you press the number 2 button, and thereafter press the OK button to submit your vote. And if you're abstaining from any resolution, you press the number 3 button, and thereafter press the OK button to submit your vote. Each voting session will last for approximately 20 seconds. Thank you, Mr.
Sure, thank you very much. We have now come to item 2 on the agenda, which is declaration of dividends of 41 kobo per ordinary share, amounting to 665 million, payable in respect of the year ended 31st of December 2021. The dividend proposed, if approved by the shareholders, is payable on the 29th day of 2022 to all shareholders, which is today, whose name appear in the registrar members at the close of business on the 15th day of July 2022. I hereby move that a dividend of 41 kobo per ordinary share amounting to 665 million be and is hereby declared payable in respect of the year ended 31st of December. Will someone please? Who is moving the motion? You have moved. Oh, I've moved already. All right. So I'm raising my hand. Then, please, you want to second the motion? Thank you, ma'am. All right. Thank you very much, ma'am. I hereby direct that a poll on the motion be taken by using the poll voting devices. So I hereby call on registrar to coordinate the voting procedure.
So on the resolution to declare a dividend, voting starts now, please. The voting session has ended. May I have a permission to display the result, Mr. Chairman? On the resolution to declare a dividend, we have 100% vote in person and by way of proxy in favor of this resolution, amounting to 730,345,854 units of shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, having the voting results on the poll which have been taken on the motion, that a dividend of 41 kobo per ordinary share amounting to 665 million be and is hereby declared payable in respect of the year ended 31st of December 2021. I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. Election of directors. The next business is election of directors in accordance with Article 85 of the Articles of Association of the company. After the last annual general meeting, the directors of the company, in the exercise of powers conferred on them by Section 274 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 and Article 85 of Articles of Association, appointed the following directors who, being eligible for election, now offer themselves for election. Mr. Indrani Gupta, you have to stand up. Dr. Peter Olushola Obabori, Executive Director. We shall proceed with the election one by one. I hereby move that Mr. Indrani Gupta be and is hereby elected a director of the company. Will someone please second the motion?
Thank you very much. My name is Ibekwe Roberts Adenoba. I stand to support that motion. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. I hereby direct that a poll on the motion be taken by using the poll voting devices, and I call on the registrar to coordinate the voting voting procedure.
On the resolution to elect Mr. Indrani Gupta as director, voting starts now. The voting has ended. Okay. May I have a permission to display the result, Mr. Chairman? On the resolution to elect Mr. Indrani Gupta as director, we have 100% vote in person and by way of proxy in favor of this resolution, amounting to 730,352,475 units of shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, having the voting results on the polls which have been taken on the motion, that Mr. Indrani Gupta be is hereby elected director of the company. I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried out. Thank you. I hereby move that Dr. Peter Olushola Obabori be and is hereby elected as the director of the company. Will someone please second the motion? Yeah, Pastor.
Thank you very much. The name is Anthony Moni Yamojola. I support the motion.
Thank you very much. I hereby direct that a poll on the motion be taken by using the poll voting devices, and I call on the registrar to coordinate the voting procedure.
On the resolution to elect Dr. Peter Olushola Olabore as director, voting starts now. The voting session has ended. May I have a permission for the result, Mr. Chairman? On the resolution to elect Dr. Peter Olushola Olabore as director, we have a 97.90% in person and by way of proxy in favor of this resolution, amounting to 715,007,138 units of shares. We also have a 2.10% voting against this resolution, amounting to 15,345,337 units of shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Registrar. Ladies and gentlemen, having the voting results on the polls which have been taken on the motion that Dr. Peter Olushola Olabore be and is hereby elected a director of the company, I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried out. The next business is the re-election of directors retiring by rotation in accordance with the Articles 107 to 109 of the Articles of Association of the company. 3 directors that are retiring by rotation are seeking re-elections. These people are not tired, you know. They just want to come back. Engineer Mohammed Gambo Roma, Mr. Akiumi Godsmart Mokun, and Mr. Tajuddin Boyesayo Shobayo. We shall also proceed with the election one by one. I hereby move that Engineer Mohammed Gambo Roma, MNIB, is hereby re-elected a director of the company. Will someone please second the motion? Okay. This one, my eyes must be open.
I so do, Mr. Chairman. My name is David Adenike Okoyemi.
All right, thank you for seconding the motion. I hereby direct that a poll on the motion be taken by using the poll voting devices, and I call. Okay, please. It was a soldier, so be taken using the poll voting devices, and I call on the registrar to coordinate the voting procedure.
On the resolution to re-elect Engineer Mohammed Gambo Omar as director, voting starts now. The voting session has ended. May I have a permission, Mr. Chairman? On the resolution to re-elect Engineer Mohammed Gambo Omar as director, we have a 97.90% vote in person and by way of proxy in favor of this resolution, amounting to 715,006,478 units of shares. We also have a 2.10% voting against this resolution, amounting to 15,345,337 units of shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, having the voting result on the polls which have been taken on the motion, that Engineer Mohammed Gambo Omar, MNI, be and is hereby re-elected a director of the company. I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. So I hereby move that Mr. Akiumi Godsmart be and is hereby re-elected a director of the company. Would someone please second the motion? Yes, okay.
I think I'm an appropriate person to do Godsmart because he's been a friend a long time.
Wow.
A man of the people.
Wow.
So I, Boniface Okesia, second that.
Wow. Wow. So I hereby direct that a poll on the motion be taken by using the pooled voting devices, and I call on the registrar to coordinate the voting procedure.
On the resolution to re-elect Mr. Kinwumi Godson Fanimoku as director, voting starts now. The voting session is ended. May I have a permission, Mr. Chairman? On the resolution to re-elect Mr. Kinwumi Godson Fanimoku as director, we have 100% voting person and by way of proxy in favor of this resolution amounting to 730,345,905 units of shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You know that this sometimes when 9 is greater than 10, you know. But I won't do that. Ladies and gentlemen, having the voting results on the polls which have been taken on the motion that Mr. Akinwumi Godson Fanimoku be and is hereby re-elected a director of the company, I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried out. Thank you. Now I move that Mr. Tajuddin Muyoshola Shobayo be and is hereby re-elected as the director of the company. Will someone please second the motion? I'm going to call a woman this time around. All right, ma'am. Shobayo. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. I hereby that a poll on the motion be taken by using the poll voting devices, and I call on the registrar to coordinate the voting procedure.
On the resolution to re-elect Mr. Tajuddin Muyoshola Shobayo as director, voting starts now.
Yeah, you've corrected.
The voting session is ended. May I have a permission, Mr. Chairman? On the resolution to re-elect Mr. Tajuddin Muyoshola Shobayo as director, we have a 97.90% votes in person and by way of proxy in favor of this resolution, amounting to 714,997,267 units of shares. We also have a 2.10% voting against this resolution, amounting to 15,345,337 units of shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, having the voting results on the polls which have been taken on the motion that Mr. Tajuddin Muyoshola Shobayo should be and is hereby re-elected a director of the company, I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. Thank you very much. Remunerations of external directors, auditors. We now come to an item 5 on the agenda, which concerns authorizing the directors to fix the remuneration of the external auditors. Messrs. Innes and Young have been appointed as the auditors of the company, and Section 409(1)(b) of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 requires that their remuneration shall be fixed by company at a general meeting or in such manner as the company in general meeting may determine. I therefore hereby move that directors be and hereby authorized to fix the remuneration of the auditors for the year ending 31st of December 2022. Will someone please second the motion? Okay. Thank you very much. I hereby direct that a poll on the motion be taken by using the poll voting devices, and I call on the registrar to coordinate the voting procedure.
On the resolution to authorize the directors to fix remuneration of the external auditors, voting starts now. The voting session has ended. With your permission, Mr. Chairman. On the resolution to authorize the directors to fix remuneration of the external auditors, we have 100% vote in person and by way of proxy in favor of this resolution, amounting to 730,342,604 units of shares. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. Auditors, I think you saw that you got 100%. Don't be hard on us. So. Ladies and gentlemen, having the voting result on the polls which have been taken on the motion, that the directors be and are hereby authorized to fix the remuneration of the auditors for the year ending 31st of December 2022. I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. Disclosure of remunerations of managers of the company. The next item on the agenda is to disclose the remuneration of the managers. Please be informed that further to provisions of Section 257 of the Companies and Allied Acts of 2020, the remuneration of managers of the company for the year ended 31st of December 2021 is stated on the page 125, note 36 of the annual reports and accounts. Election of audit committee members. The next item on the agenda concerns the election of members of the audit committee. Please be informed that in compliance with Section 404, bracket 3 of Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, which provides the composition of audit committee to be 3 shareholders and 2 non-executive directors. Your directors have resolved to appoint as their representative on the audit committee the following directors. Engineer Mohammed Gambo Oman, MNI, who has been introduced to you earlier as a member of the board of directors. Mr. Tajuddin Uyoshola Shobayo, who is also a fellow of State of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICANN. He was also introduced to you earlier as a member of the board of directors. The company secretary has received nominations of 3 places to represent the shareholders on the audit committee. I now call on the company secretary to read the names of the nominees.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In accordance with Section 404, subsection 6 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, members are to send to the company secretary at least 21 days before the annual general meeting nomination letters for any 3 shareholders to represent them on the audit committee. The nominations received by me are 11, out of which the following 6 have been validated by the registrars. Number 1, Dr. Okpan Awhua Resources. Number 2, Alhaji Mohammed Gambo Page. Number 3, Mrs. Bakare Adebisi Oluwayemisi. Number 4, Mr. Lamina Sikiru Taiwo. Number 5, Mr. Obedeyi Joan. Number 6, Mr. Odebeyi Olatunde. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We shall now proceed with the election of audit committee members. Each of the nominees shall be voted for one by one. I call on the registrar to conduct the election.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So like the chairman said earlier, we have 6 nominees for the audit committee role. As I call each name, may you kindly step out. Dr. Okpan Awhua Resources. Can you step out, please? Can you step out, sir, please? Mr. Mohammed Gambo Fagi. Can you step up? Can we see? Mr. Adebisi Bakari. Mrs. Adebisi Bakari, sorry. Lamina Sikiru Taiwo. Obideyi Joan. Obideyi Efunyemi. So we'll take the votes now. For Dr. Okpan Awhua Resources, those in favor? Thank you. Next nominee, Mr. Mohammed Fagi. Those in favor? Next nominee, Mrs. Adebisi Bakari. Those in favor? Next nominee, Lamina Sikiru. Those in favor? Next nominee, Obideyi Joan. Those in favor? Next nominee, Obideyi Olatunde. Those in favor?
Thank you very much. So we have Dr. Okwan Awan RM 16, Mr. Mohamed Gambo Fage 16, Mrs. Adebisi Oluwayemisi Bakari 17, Lamina Sikuru Taiwo 0, Obideyi Iteoluwa Kinshi Joan 0, Obideyi Efunyemi Olatunde 0. Now, having the election result that indicates Dr. Akpan Awanerem Alaji Mohamed Gambofag and Ms. Bakari Adebisi Oluwayemisi as having the highest votes, I hereby move that Dr. Akpan Awanerem Alaji Mohamed Gambofage and Mrs. Bakari Adebisi Oluwayemisi representing the shareholders, and Engineer Mohamed Gambo Uman, MNI, and Mr. Tajuddin Moyashola Shobayo representing the directors be and are hereby elected audit committee members of the company until the conclusion of the next annual general meeting. Will someone please second this motion? Right? All right. Thank.
I hereby second the motion for the re-election of this wonder ex-senator. Who had this?
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Please sit down. Those in favor say yes. Yes. And those against say no. I hereby declare that the motion is duly carried. Remuneration of director. The next item on the agenda is special business requiring an ordinary resolution to fix the remuneration of the directors. Please be informed that as required by the Corporate Affairs Commission guidelines, the approval of the commission has been obtained for special businesses to be included as part of businesses to be transacted at this meeting. In accordance with Section 293(1) of Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, I hereby move that the remunerations of the non-executive directors for the year ending 31st of December 2020
No, you can sit. You can just take from here.
Let him say something negative. We go to his village.
In accordance. In accordance with Section 293(1) of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, I hereby move
that the remuneration of the non-executive directors for the year ending 31st December 2022 until reviewed by the company at the AGM annual general meeting and is hereby fixed at 150 million Naira, subject to the deduction of appropriate withholding tax where applicable. Would someone please second this motion? Sir.
I second the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
You didn't speak in Indian.
Thank you.
You have to direct them to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have to direct them.
I hereby direct. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I hereby direct that a poll on the motion be taken by using the poll devices, and I call on the registrars to coordinate the voting procedure.
On the resolution to approve the remuneration of directors of the company for the year ending December 31st, 2022, voting starts now. The voting session has ended. May I have a permission, Mr. Chairman?
Please go ahead.
On the resolution to approve remuneration of directors of the company for the year ending December 31st, 2022, we have 100% vote in person and by way of proxy in favor of this resolution amounting to 730,352,475 in subshares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Well done. Ladies and gentlemen, having the voting result on the poll which have been taken on the motion that the remuneration of the non-executive directors for the year ending 31st December 2022 until reviewed by the company at the annual general meeting be and is hereby fixed at 150 million Naira only, subject to the deduction of appropriate withholding tax where applicable. I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried.
Thank you, Gupta. Related party transactions. This item is also special business requiring your approval of related party transactions. I hereby move that the persons to Rule 20.8 of the Nigeria Exchange Issuers Rules, the general mandate given to the company to procure goods and services, enter into such incidental transactions necessary for its day-to-day operations from its related parties or interested persons on normal commercial terms, and is hereby renewed. Will someone please second the motion, please? Okay.
Hi, Comrade Lawrence Oguntoye, hereby second the motion.
I hereby direct that the poll on the motion be taken by using the poll voting devices, and I call on the registrars to coordinate the voting procedure.
On the resolution to approve recurrent related party transactions, voting starts now. The voting session is ended. May I have a permission, Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead, please.
On the resolution to approve recurrent related party transactions, we have 100% vote in person and by way of proxy in favor of this resolution amounting to 728,366,680 units of shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, having the voting result on the poll which has been taken on the motion, that pursuant to Rule 20.8 of the Nigerian Exchange Issuers Rule, the general mandate given to the company to procure goods and services and enter into such incidental transactions necessary for its day-to-day operations from all its related parties or interested persons on normal commercial terms, and is hereby be renewed. I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. Declaration of bonus issue. The next item on the agenda is also a special business requiring ordinary resolution for declaration of bonus issue. I hereby move. That is.
I'm involved, right? Mr. Chairman, my name is Shokeje Boniface. Once again, my observation goes thus. You have read these things during the introduction, which also by the company secretary. This session now we're going, 10A and B should be combined. One. Yeah, taken as one. And also C, D, and 11 should also be taken as one when we get there. Yeah, one. Yes, go join because they are to join. So that we can live here as soon as possible. Move to sentence, go join.
So I will just move the motion.
Yes.
So you want me to combine the two?
Yes, sir.
Or do it one by one?
A, B, C, D, they are all one resolution.
Okay, so will someone please second the motion? No, let me talk to, okay, sir.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Actually, my name is Robert Ibekwe. I second that motion, and it's one of the things I really wanted to talk. You have been very consistent with bonus, so I am happy about that, and I stand to to support that motion. Adenoba, Robert Ibekwe, sir.
Thank you. So I hereby direct that the poll on the motion be taken by using the poll voting devices, and I call on the registrar to coordinate the voting procedure.
On the resolution to declare a bonus issue 2020 in the proportion of 1 new share of 50 kobo each for every 5 existing shares of 50 kobo each, voting starts now. The voting session has ended. With your permission, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, please.
On the resolution to declare a bonus issue 2022 in the proportion of 1 new share of 50 kobo each for every 5 existing shares of 50 kobo each, we have 100% vote in person and by way of proxy in favor of this resolution, amounting to 730,345,975 units of shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, having the voting results on the poll which have been taken on the motion, I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. So let's go to 11, and then we go to B. So will someone please second the motion? Somebody pointed to you.
Evangelist Dr. Anthony Omani Omojola.
Thank you. You know, shareholders are fond of pointing to people, allocating people. I hereby that, okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hereby direct that a poll on the motion be taken using the poll voting devices, and I call on the registrar to coordinate the voting procedure.
On the resolution to authorize the directors to comply with the Company and Allied Matters Act 2020 and the Company's Regulation 2021 as it relates to the unissued shares of the company, including cancellation of unissued shares, voting starts now. The voting session has ended. With your permission, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, please.
On resolution to authorize the directors to comply with the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 and the Companies Regulations 2021 as relates to unissued shares of the company, including the cancellation of unissued shares, we have a 99.73% voting person and by way of proxy in favor of this resolution, amounting to 728,365,754 units of shares. We also have a 0.27% abstaining from this resolution, amounting to 1,985,795 units of shares. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, having the voting results on the poll, which have been taken on the motion, I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. Alteration of Articles of Association. The last item is also a special business requiring a special resolution of approving alteration of memorandum of association of the company. Okay, will someone please second the motion?
Somebody should pick somebody. Somebody should pick somebody.
To the special agenda, I'm speaking last again. What a coincidence. My name is Patrick Ajudwa. I rise to second the motion.
Thank you very much. I hereby direct that a poll on the motion be taken using the poll voting devices. The registrar should coordinate the voting procedure.
On the resolution to alter Clause 6 of the share capital clause of the Memorandum and Association of the company to give effect to Resolution 11 above, voting starts now. The voting session has ended. With your permission, Mr. Chairman. On the resolution to alter Clause 6 of the share capital clause of the Memorandum and Association of the company to give effect to Resolution 11 above, we have 100% vote in person and by way of proxy in favor of this resolution, amounting to 730,330,549 units of shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, having the voting results on the poll which have taken on the motion, I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. Thank you. End of meeting. We have come to the end of the businesses of this meeting. On behalf of the board and management of your company, I thank you for your physical and virtual attendance and the keen interest you have demonstrated in the affairs of your company. Once again, I thank you and I wish those of you that attended physically safe trip back home and those observing virtually a safe stay at offices and at homes. May God bless you and the company and Nigeria. I hereby declare the meeting closed and call on Engineer Mohamed Gambo Ruma, to offer the closing prayer.
Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the beneficent and the merciful, I beseech you to continue to bless our company with the very supportive shareholders, the committed workers of the company, the extremely hard-working directors, and also our stakeholders in the aviation industry. We have committed all the proceedings in your hands, O Almighty Allah, and we pray to you to ensure that we all go back to our homes very safely. We also would like more involvement of the shareholders in the affairs of the company because you as stakeholders in the company, have a role to play also. When you travel, for instance, like the chairman said earlier, there is a need for you to explain some of these situations that we encounter in the course of doing our own business. And some of the plans that the chairman did not go into detail, let's understand that we are in a competitive world. We cannot disclose to you what we are doing until when the right time comes. You have a right to know. So we commit all of that in the hands of Allah Almighty. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum la ta'khudhuhu sinatun wa la nawm lahu ma fis samawati wa ma fil ardi. Man zal ladhi yashfa'u indahu illa bi idhnihi ya'lamu ma bayna aydihim wa ma khalfahum wa la yuhituna bi shay'in min ilmihi illa bima sha'a wa wasi'a kursiyyuhu as-samawati wal ardi wa la ya'uduhu hifdhuhuma wa huwa al-aliyyul azim. Allahu Akbar. Thank you.
National item, please.